Hi everybody, it's Randy Hilarski coming at you from Panama. It's just a short time to go until we head out to Mexico. We're here on the beach in Veracruz, just about 30-minute drive from Panama City, depending on the traffic. I'm sorry about some noise tonight. You might hear some parrots, you might hear some parakeets. So there's kids playing football behind me. We're at the beach, so I can't get rid of all the noise, and I might have some mosquitoes attack me, who knows. But tonight we're going to talk about share rate and share price. These are the two most important things that we have in HEX. And this is an evergreen video, so if you're watching this a year from now, no worries, it's going to pertain to you. You need to understand this before you start staking your HEX stakes. It's super important. So first, let's go into hex.live here and see the current price of HEX. We're at 0.4 of a penny. We had a nice green candle today, later this evening. It just shot right up. We're up against Bitcoin, 8.61%, and we're up against Ethereum, 9.41%. The current price of Bitcoin is just under 10,700. And one thing I want to talk about quick is Big Payday. So right now we're at 13.27% staked. I know a lot of my friends are thinking that we're probably going to have about 15 to 20% of the total amount of liquid HEX staked by Big Payday. That's on November 19th. If you're watching this video after November 19th, 2020, no worries. You can fast forward this part. I'm only going to talk about this for 1 minute or so, but I'm really excited about what's going to happen with Big Payday. It looks like, and this is my personal opinion, it looks like we might 3.5 to 4x our stacks on November 19th. So I personally believe that we might only get maximum 15% of the total liquid HEX staked. And those of us who are part of the staker class are going to be very happy on November 20th. We'll see what happens. It might go all the way up to 20%, but I highly doubt it. I don't think the OA is going to stake their coins, any of their coins. They can do what they want with their coins, but I personally think that's not going to happen. Locked, 15%, I'm happy. All right, so let's go right into HEX staking and the share price. The share price is how many HEX it takes in order to buy 1 trillion shares. And currently it costs 10,949 HEX in order to buy 1 trillion shares. 10,949 HEX is equal to 1,094,900,000 or 900 million hearts. Sorry about that. It's such a big number. So 10,949 HEX will get you 1 trillion shares, and that current price is right around $42 USD. Still a great price. I mean, I've actually bought at a higher rate. So we had a nice dip, and it's been our opportunity to come in and get some more HEX at a lower price. I think the dip is going to end soon. We're getting closer and closer to our all-time high, which we had back, I think it was in March. We could get back up to 0.6 of a penny before Big Payday. Some people are even speculating that we could hit a penny. I'm not worried about how much 1 HEX costs in the next month. I am not worried about that one bit. Why? Because I have staked my coins out past 7 years. I'm not one of these people that have short-term stakes. I have one that comes out about a year and a half. It was a large amount. I didn't want to unstake it early, so I kept it, and all the rest are past 7 years. So I'm super stoked that right now we can still get in at 10,949 HEX per trillion shares, and I'm going to show you why. First, let's show you I'm going to show you some charts here. This chart was made by Brennan. Be Mindful of Death. That's his Twitter account, at Be Mindful of Death. So check him out, follow him, and let me give him a follow real quick. This is my backup account on Twitter. Let me follow Funding Jim as well, Ian Hexwatcher. Those of you guys who don't know, my account is banned by Twitter right now, my personal account, so I'm waiting, been fighting to get it back. So 10,949 HEX per trillion shares. That's way back here. This is the chart for the next 5,555 days. We are way down here, guys. We only have about 40 days left until Big Payday. After Big Payday, the share price is going to cost considerably more, probably 3x. That's a considerable amount of money. So right about here, you're talking about 30,000 HEX, maybe more, in order to pick up 1 trillion shares. Now let's go out to day 1,000. Day 1,000, you're looking at, it looks like about 50,000 HEX per 1 trillion shares. So if the price stayed the same, say that the price never went anywhere, you know that's going to cost you about 5 times more in 1,000 days in order to buy a trillion shares. So if right now it costs right around $40, it will cost you then $200 to get a trillion shares. 200 USD in order to buy a trillion shares if the price stays the same. The price may go up, the price may go down. Nobody knows. This is crypto. We say no expectations in HEX. If the price goes down by 90%, it's a chance to get more trillion shares, right? Because that's the name of the game here, is getting how many trillion you can get of the shares so that you earn a higher share rate. So let's go out 2,000 days. At 2,000 days, where it looks like we're about 110 to 120,000 HEX per trillion shares. So let's do the math again. So 12 times $40 is going to cost what? $480 for a trillion shares if the price stays the same. Now let's go out to 3,000. At 3,000, we're pushing that 400,000 mark. So I'm guessing it's about 380,000 HEX it's going to cost in order to get a trillion shares. I'm not even going to do the math in my head. It's 38, maybe $3,000, 3,000, whatever. Come over here to 4,000. Now you're at 800,000 HEX in order to pick up 1 trillion shares. That's on day 4,000, guys. I know it seems like a long time away. That's over 10 years. That's 11 and a half years from now. That's a considerable amount of time. But those of you who look back at the beginnings of Bitcoin and understand that if you could have gotten in Bitcoin in the first year, what your possibilities and what your life would be like today. I am not gambling anymore. I was a trader. I was a buy the rumor and sell the news, guys. That's how I traded. So I would get into a crypto when news was coming out, and I would hold it up until 1 or 2 days before the actual event occurred, and then I normally make 30 to 100%, depending how early I got in. It was very exhausting because you're always trying to be ahead of the game. You're always trying to see trying to get insider news, talking to your buddies. Hey, have you heard anything about this project? What's going on over there? And that was my game. That's what I did, and I didn't want to do that anymore. And I also was a trader in other ways, and I lost my ass trying to do the leverage trading thing. I never was successful at that. So when I see this and I see what it's going to cost in order to compete over the years, I'm saying, you know what? Just get in early like the early Bitcoin folks did, right? The Trace Mayers of the world, the Richard Harts, some of the other, I won't go through names, but those folks got in early and they really benefited. And I see another opportunity with HEX. HEX is one of those cryptos that can change our lives. So if it's going to cost 800,000 HEX, let's just round it up to $1 million. Let's just make it $1 million. So we know currently $1 million HEX is going to cost you about $4,200. $4,200 in order to buy $1 million HEX. What if it's the same thing in 10 years? Well, that's okay, because now I'm going to show you the share rate. This is the share rate. This is how many HEX we are earning per day for our stakes. So you buy 10,929 HEX, which is 1 trillion shares right now. You buy those. Each and every day that your stake is set, you're going to earn 4.3. That's what today is, or yesterday. Let me get it up here. You're going to earn 4.387. So let's round up to 4.4. So you're earning 4.4 right now for every trillion shares that you have. So you have $43 worth of HEX staked. Every single day you're earning 4.3 HEX. Now, we already saw what it's going to cost after Big Payday. It looks like it's going to 3 to 4x. So now we know that we're going to be earning between 12 and 15 HEX per day. So let's go to that chart that Brennan made. This is the chart he made concerning HEX what you earn as a share rate. So currently we're over here, right? We're right at the beginning. And after Big Payday, it's going to jump. And we're expecting 3 to 4x. So are we going to get 12.5, 13, 14, 15, 16 hex per day right after Big Payday? And during the first year, there's a lot of stakes coming out. Right? The more stakes that are coming out means that they got a higher ROI. And if there's a higher ROI than the last one that just came out, that means that the share rate's going to go up. The share price also goes up, and that means that we're having a higher share rate. So if right now we're at 4.4, after Big Payday we're at 20, look what happens at day 1,000. At day 1,000, it looks like we're at about 25, 26, 27 hex per day per trillion shares. So your $43 is then going to earn you 25 hex per day. Doesn't sound like a lot, but then multiply it if you went and invested $4,000. If you invested 4,200, which would buy you 100 trillion shares right now, you're going to be earning a considerable amount more. So you're looking at 25 times 100, so 2,500 hex per day in trustless interest. That as long as you complete your stake, you're going to get all of that hex as interest. Let's go out to day 2,000. At day 2,000, we're earning about 50 hex per day. So if you have 100 trillion, your original investment, you'd be earning 5,000 hex per day if your stake is still going on. Let's go out to day 3,000. At day 3,000, it looks like you're about 110. So now you're at 10,100 hex per day for earning trustless interest that you made a commitment to stake your coins. Now we go up to day 4,000. Day 4,000 looks like about 200 hex per day. Now these charts aren't perfect. These are speculations of what's going to happen, but it's okay. This gives you an idea of where we can go. I've seen charts that are much higher than this, that we could be earning much more. But this is, this one's conservative, so I like to stick with conservative. So if you're earning 200 hex per day and you have 100 trillion, now you're looking at 20,000 hex per day. And the current price of 20,000 hex per day, as we already know, 40 times 2, so you're looking at about $80 per day in trustless interest at about the 10-year mark. Sorry, there's a young lady screaming over in the soccer field. All right, so now at day 50, or say day 5,000, now at day 5,000, you're almost at 350 hex per day per trillion shares. Let's extrapolate that. You got 100 trillion. Now you're going to be earning 35,000 hex per day. You're starting to see where this goes. And myself and a lot of other people I know have much more than 100 trillion shares. This is why I'm telling people, you get as much hex as you possibly can. You stake them out as long as you can right now. And don't worry about them. I'm not worried about my hex. My hex is set it and forget it. Like I said, my average stake right now is at 7.11 years. That means I'm not touching my hex for 7 years. I have that kind of commitment. When I see other cryptos, like I said earlier, you get into them, you try to catch the pump, and you sell the coins early, or maybe you're too late or whatever. Like I did in 2017, I saw Bitcoin going up like this. Remember, I've been in Bitcoin since 2014. I bought the first one in January 2014. And when Bitcoin got to 10,000, I was in Bogota. I was at the Latin American Bitcoin conference. I had just had lunch with Trace Mayer, and I went back to my room. I sold all my Bitcoin because Bitcoin was just over $10,000 that day. And I made a video. You can go back to my old videos. You can see it when I said I was selling all my Bitcoin, and I actually did. I still had other altcoins, but I sold all my Bitcoin that day because something was very suspicious to me. Yes, I missed the doubling of that, but like I said, I've been in since 2014, so I still did well. But I don't want to have to try to catch the hype anymore. I don't want to have to try to because the difference between the day it was 10,000 and the day it was 20,000, I think it was like 17 days. I got out 17 days early, and people were making fun of me for that. Like, Randy, why did you sell your Bitcoin? Listen, guys, I took profits. No profit. Taking profit is never a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. I was happy with my decision, right? But with HEX, I don't have to do that. I don't have to worry. I have stakes going out all the way out to 5,555 days. And every time I have a stake come out, I'm going to restake my principal, and maybe I'll sell my interest if the price is down at that time and I don't feel that it's worthwhile. I'll probably stake the interest as well. And we also get our Big Payday coins. So those of you who were lucky enough to get in before November 19th, you're going to have your Big Payday coins. Now, who knows what we're going to do with those? Maybe I'll take half and stake them, and the other half I'll sell and use them to pay for life expenses. Because like I said, I'm getting up there in age, and I want to enjoy my life. RG3 and I had a discussion the other night on the Discourse Syndicate, and we're saying, look, I didn't get into this in order to stake this to my dying day. I'm going to sell some of my HEX, and I'm going to take that interest and pay for my lifestyle. So my son, he'll be a very happy guy if HEX does what Bitcoin did, and he'll be able to take over the stake someday. But for those of you who are watching this, I'm imploring you, don't worry about the HEX price right now. Whether the HEX is 1/10 of a penny, 4/10 of a penny, or $1, it doesn't freaking matter, because if you're staked and you're staked out for 5, 10, 15 years, what you're trying to accomplish right now is get as many trillions shares of HEX that you possibly can, so that you can get a higher HEX share rate in order to stack up the HEX and stack up the interest. There's Dev Kyle, one of the guys that worked on the project, he said that it's possible that you can 80x your stakes at 10 years. So if you have 100,000 HEX staked for 3,650 days, it's possible that at the end of 3,650 days, those HEX are now accumulated up to 8 million HEX. So 100 times 80 is 8 million. Imagine how life-changing that would be if HEX stays at the current price, or let's go a little bit crazy here. What if it goes to $1? What if it goes to 10 cents? You start doing that math, and then it gets bonkers. Absolute bonkers. Crypto hasn't even begun, folks. We are in the early days of crypto. I've been in since 2014. I started learning in 2011. I was just too nervous because I was a gold and silver guy. I didn't have the cojones to put my money in a digital currency back in 2011. Even though I wanted to, I didn't do it. I didn't pull the trigger. It took me all the way till January 2014. Well, that was 5 years after Bitcoin started, right? The Bitcoin started on January 3 of 2009. Well, guess what? We're about to hit the 11-year mark for Bitcoin. Amazing, guys. So get as much trillion shares as you can, stake them as long as you can, and get that high share rate. Because frankly, if you want to earn this kind of a share rate, you got to stake for long periods of time. I mean, if you're bowing out here at the 2,000 day mark, I feel bad for your son, because the big money is going to be over here. Seriously. Big money's over here, and that's what I'm betting on. Like I said, I used to be a trader. HEX might be boring for some people, and I don't really care. I'm getting my life back. HEX is helping me take my life back to be able to enjoy life again. And there's plenty of other ways for me to earn money in crypto online, but this one is my retirement plan. So cheers, everyone. Stay HEXy, and hopefully this price continues to slowly go up before Big Payday, and hopefully some of you guys get as many trillions of shares as you possibly can, stake as long as you can, and enjoy it. Cheers, everybody.